Thank you so much for joining my live. When you join, do well to like the video. We have lots of things to talk about today. Hi there, class. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining my live. I believe you all are doing fine. You all are okay. You are welcome to my live. Let's talk about what is trendy. You are welcome to Contemporary Views. Hi there. Thank you so much for joining. When you join, do well to like the video and do well to share the live. Like the video, guys. I need you to like the video. Share the live. There's a lot going on around Diddy's trial, so I'd like for us to discuss about it. It is getting more difficult. It is getting even bigger. So we have a lot to discuss today about Diddy's case. Okay. So I want to believe that we are aware that he was supposed to be released on bail, but that failed yesterday. So there is an update on the case. For those of you who are joining in for the first time, my name is Gillian and this is Contemporary Views. And on Contemporary Views, we discuss trends. So PDD is trending on social media today. I don't know what your thoughts are about this, but I want to believe that it is a conversation we all can have. There's also a development. It looks like Diddy will be testifying in late Tupac's trial. So I am going to be very formal with you because I did a lot of research. I have a lot of material to share. I don't know what your thoughts are. I just need you to drop your thoughts at the comment section. It's pretty hot out here. It's been over 7 or 8 months now that he's been in jail. His lawyers have not rested. They were trying, to be able to free him, but unfortunately that hasn't been possible. So there's updates. Just give me a moment, let me share my live and then we delve into the topic. If you're joining in for the first time, my name is Julia. This is Contemporary Views. I have lots of information to share here today, so when you join in, like the video. When you're joining, like the video. Thank you so much for joining. I am glad to have you all here. This is the platform where you get all your updates. Okay. Now you all know P. Diddy from way back when. Sean Combs, he used to be a fantastic artist, a mogul. He got caught up in certain things and then he got locked up. So as of yesterday, there's been an update on his case, which I want to share with you guys. So I am going to be reading from an excerpt shared by his lawyers. Okay. Based on his early release, it was mentioned sometime back that he was going to be released early. So based on his early release, this is just an outside. I am still going to come back to introduce the video to you. Okay. Based on his early release, Diddy's prison release has been moved forward by 6 weeks. That means the hearing again is going to be on April the 25th, and this is due to his participation in the residential drug abuse program. Okay. And then as far as his appeal opposition was concerned, prosecutors have formally opposed his appeal, arguing the 4-year sentence is valid and that judges can consider freeing him based on conduct. His upcoming hearing arguments for this appeal are going to be scheduled also in April. So the outcome, since he has already been found guilty for 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution and Mann Act violations, he was acquitted of more serious charges like racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and we all know what. I can't say that here because of community standards, of course. So he's been denied bail multiple times. Oh God. Well, that is it. But I came on live for something else. As you can see on as you can see right there on the topic, there is a possibility that he will be giving his testimony on Tupac's murder case. Before we really delve into this, Tupac had died, say 30 years ago, so many years ago. He had died 30 years ago, but never had justice because he was murdered in the streets. he was murdered in the streets, and for so many years now he hasn't got justice. So no matter how much people try to hide the truth, it will definitely come to light. No matter how much you try to hide it, it will definitely come to light somehow. When I stumbled on this article, I said, oh, I must bring it and discuss this article with you, because it is trending, and on contemporary views we discuss trends. It is, however, appalling that he has not been able to have justice for so many years now, and it seems like it's going to happen. And Diddy is going to play a role in Tupac's murder case. And of course, somewhere along the line, Jay-Z too might be giving his own testimony based on the same case. Isn't that amazing? I'm sure many people had lost hope as far as the case was concerned. But even after so many years, Tupac is finally going to have justice. So what actually inspired this video? Let me read it so that you can understand, you can get me. You all know Keffi, right? 62-year-old former Southern Californian gang figure. He's been charged with orchestrating Tupac's murder in 1996. So many years ago, about 30 years ago. That has been the person who has been held down for that reason. He is the main suspect. But now there is a twist, because it was said that there is a $1 million deal somewhere around, and that is what we're going to be unveiling here today. I have done a lot of digging, really. I did a lot of research before coming on today, and you must know that all these informations are present online, so I don't want you people coming here to ask me crazy questions. So I'll just go through it right now with you guys. Keffi is charged with orchestrating Tupac's 1996 drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. The last trial date was on August 10, 2026, and it is possible that it will be heard in 2027, that is next year. So there is a possibility that even after 30 years, Tupac is going to have justice. Now, Davis's lawyer, Michael Pandulo, says Diddy would be a credible witness for the defense. Remember, he is the only person being held. One of the people being held in detention as suspects in the Tupac's case. And now Diddy, who is also in detention, is a possible witness. Why is Diddy a possible witness in Tupac's case? And of course, behind what exactly? That's the question we're going to be answering here today. So, Davis's lawyer, that's Keffi lawyer Michael Pandulo, says Diddy will be a credible witness for the defense. The $1 million claim, Davis told police in the recorded interview that Diddy offered him. That's not coming from me. That information is online. All right? The $1 million claim Davis told police is recorded in the interview that Diddy offered him $1 million to demolish, to unalive Tupac. Now, if this is true, it means the culprit had been in front of us, staring us in the eyes, and we didn't know. 30 whole years. Now, you know that in the law court, we don't go to court with emotions. We go to court with facts. And Kefi D's lawyer claim they have proof, which is the facts that they need to win the case. Okay. Now, this recording is in the prosecutor's evidence. The defense is twisted. Did you hear that right? Davis's own lawyer wants Diddy to testify because they believe Diddy will deny the 1 million hit. Now, let me clarify something here. Initially, it was said that Kefi D received $1 million for the hit of Tupac from Diddy. Now, Kefi D's lawyer wants Diddy to testify because he feels that Diddy is going to deny that he gave him the job. Does that make sense? We are going somewhere. Let's all try to understand the case. We're going somewhere. Now, Davis's lawyer claims that the confession looks like lies told for fame and fortune. And how is that possible? How can someone do something like that? You tell a lie just because you want to be famous, or you want to frame somebody who is famous? It doesn't make any sense. To me, it doesn't. A family friend of Davis's says if Diddy backed up the story, it will help immensely. Now, that's not going to be possible because if Diddy agrees, it means he is the culprit. Diddy is looking for means to leave prison. He wants to go back to his family. His case at this point in time is already being so messed up because he's been trying to get into court again to appeal, but it's not working out. The lawyers are working day in, day out, but it's still not working out. Being in jail is not easy. In as much as they're now trying to appeal for a reduction of his term based on good conduct. But when you have been sentenced, you have to complete your jail time. You have to face your jail time. You have to. Celebrity witnesses tend to sway juries that Davis was arrested September 2023. He had pleaded not guilty and in his defense argues all his prior confessions were fabricated. Now you get to understand now why above it was mentioned that they were lies told for fame or for fortune. Either he was being paid to tell the lies or he just wanted to become famous as the one who had deleted Tupac. Now, isn't that crazy? Any human being who is normal, who is okay, and then decides to do something like that, I think it doesn't make sense. We are going somewhere, like I said. It was said that he had pleaded not guilty and his defense argues all his prior confessions were fabricated story. Now let's go to the backstory here. Prosecutor alleges that Davis was the shot caller. Now are you beginning to see how the twist is unfolding? Initially, he had said that he received $1 million to conduct the hit, but now prosecutors are saying that when he was arrested, he had said that he wasn't responsible. He was just the shot caller who ordered the hit after his nephew Orlando Anderson got into a fight with the deceased Tupac. Does it make sense now? I want to believe that they're not trying to make it look like an accident. Maybe, how am I going to call that? Wrong target, self-defense, accident. Let's just leave it at that. He said he was just a shot caller who ordered the hit after his nephew Orlando Anderson got into a fight with Tupac, and a huge night at Las Vegas casino hours before a shooting. Okay, think about it. Davis's own lawyer wants him to be called a liar. What's going on? Are these people okay? Imagine you hiring someone to defend you, and now he wants you to be called a liar, meaning all the statements that you have made before that we recorded are lies. Now, what is going to be the motive of you telling that lie? That's what we're going to be unraveling right now. Why would he want his client to be termed a liar, and that all the statements he had made previously when he was arrested in 2023 are not true? Okay? By the way, I mentioned in this at the beginning that no matter how long you try to hide the truth, it will eventually come out. It's always going to find a way to surface. So it's not easy trying to hide the truth sometimes. Now, Diddy is already in prison. Just like lawyer Davis's Kefidi's lawyer wants him to. Eventually he denies that he did not order the hit. That is definitely going to make Davis a liar, and there you have it. He will probably be acquitted because he says that all those things he said when he was arrested are not true, and his lawyer wants him to prove that by bringing Diddy in for testimonies, and if Diddy testifies that he did it, then he is the murderer. So it is going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be epic out there. I just thought it wise to bring it because it's a developing story. Everything I'm telling you right now, it's a developing story, and you'll get to be hearing about it a lot this week. Now, the most iconic unsolved murder is about to be solved, and it will be requiring the presence of Diddy. Just maybe there are rumors flying in the streets that Jay-Z too is also going to be called up somewhere because he too has questions to answer. Now, if Diddy testifies and denies the 1 million hit, he keeps Skefi D in jail. But could he be that open? Is it that legal? He could expose himself, Diddy, if he knows something. Being a witness in that case might even make his current state worse. That's what I think personally. I don't know what you think out there. I just need you to drop it at the comment section. I need you. There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed. Luke 12:2, it It tells us that, right? For those of you who are Christians out there, it is crazy. You all know that Diddy is already serving a 50-month sentence and is supposed to be paying $500,000 in fines and 5 years supervised release at the Fox District, the Fox Federal Correctional Institution in New Jersey. His lawyers filed an appeal in December arguing the judge acted on the 13th juror, factoring in evidence from charges he had acquitted on. The freak-offs were filmed amateur pornography, protected at the First Amendment. Prosecutor's response, page 83 brief on February 20th. In as much as that argument was rejected, but it is important for us to note that. So the Supreme Court precedents allow judges to consider acquitted conduct at sentencing. Filming the encounters doesn't transform into prostitution. He filmed them. Questionable. Wait. The thing is, even if, in as much as he wasn't convicted for racketeering, prostitution, and all the other sex-related crimes, we all know that he's guilty of all these things. He's someone who is so powerful. We saw the videos, we heard the testimonies. I personally followed the testimonies day in, day out. I heard everything. And you all know, a man who has so much money, with so much audacity, a powerful man, with so much at his disposal, and the way the witnesses narrated what they went through, it's possible he did all those things. It's just that they were not proven in court, because in court you don't go there to cry. You don't go there with emotions. You go to court with facts. Since there were no evidences to prove the case, that is why he was not convicted for those cases. But it doesn't mean that he is not guilty of those crimes. Yes. So now, filming the encounters doesn't transform prostitution into protected speech. Any defendant who transported others to engage in prostitution could escape liability simply by watching or filming the act. And how can you be in that place and then you know that this is the business that's going on here and you do not participate? Remember that most of those freak-ups were characterized with the use of substances. Yes, there was alcohol, there was substances and other things. Most of them, the victims said they didn't remember what actually happened to them. The next day they woke up, they were wasted, they were tired, some of them were sick. They don't know what happened because they were intoxicated. They were not in their rightful senses. They were not in their rightful senses. And for the male escort who gave his testimony then, he had said that they gave them stuff to take. Even the young girls, they give them stuff to take. You get intoxicated such that they do stuff to you, you don't even know, you can't recall. That is why they had to record all those things, because that's the only way you can see the aftermath of all the things that you take. So they already knew what was going to happen. They already knew what being in that place means you are participating. It's just like maybe you watch crime happen and then you do not report. It makes you part of it. You're liable. It makes you a part of it. So there's no way someone would say that filming the encounters doesn't transform into prostitution. There's no way. It doesn't make sense there. Now today, 2nd of March, there was a breaking news earlier on today. On page 6 of that report, Diddy's release date moved from June 2028 from April 2028 to June 2028. He got into a drug abuse rehab program that increased his time. Yeah. Now I don't understand. You were already accused of something related to drugs. There were no proofs to hold you down based on substances. You get free on charges based on substances. You get a minimal jail term to life that you were normally supposed to have gotten. You still did not think that you need to pipe down. You are in jail. You still get involved with substances. Does it mean he got fed up, or he got tired, or he really couldn't do something to hold himself together? I understand that that's someone who is very rich and powerful and has always had things done his way. But the earlier he begins to realize that things are no longer going to be as he wants, the better for him. His lawyers have done a fantastic job. It is not easy to go to a trial that the whole world is watching and then you get that little sentence. Actually, it was a win-win. It was a fantastic lawyer that he had, a powerful one. Otherwise, he would have had life, because that is what he was facing if he was found guilty on all charges. So now, because he got involved in drug-related activities, he's been sent to the rehab. Too bad. First of all, you should know that the 4 years that he has is not enough for the list of crimes that he was facing. His lawyers did a good job. Whenever I sit down and I remember the footage where he beat up Cassie in the elevator, and then Cassie said that he has done even worse. Now, based on that footage alone, he should have been prosecuted even more. Based on that footage alone, there were evidences, but the law is the law. He was tried under fair conditions, in courts. The 4 years were not enough punishment for what he had done. And now he seeks more by joining substance abuse in jail. So let's not dwell so much on that. That's that. Now there's a new twist. Remember, from the beginning I had mentioned Jay-Z in this case, that if it boils down to Keffi D's lawyer Michael calling in Diddy for his testimony, it is probably going to touch someone else in the hip-hop family, and that person is Jay-Z. Now, how is Jay-Z involved in all of this is what we are going to be finding out now. We all know about the 50 Cent Jay-Z documentary. On another day, I'm going to do a video on that. If you guys want me to talk about that, you can maybe drop it at the comment section, then maybe we will come and discuss that here. But I just needed to give you the updates that I had today. want to believe that we all have watched the Netflix. Let me not go there. Maybe we can do another video based on that. But it is suggestive in the video. The second part of that video is out, and it is suggestive that there is involvement of both Diddy and Jay-Z. So now that's the reason why someday, sometime, it's possible that Jay-Z too will be called in to testify on Tupac's case. It's been 30 years already, and it's time for justice. Tupac is finally going to get justice, so there's that possibility. 50 Cent had publicly stated that he wants to do a standalone documentary on Jay-Z after no files were released. We all saw that. We all saw that. Social media is exploding with speculation about private chats between Jay-Z and Diddy. All of these things are present out there. We all know somehow. We all know this. But then again, where is this leading to? Private chats. Okay. 50 Cent had been warning people about Diddy for over a decade. You know, he has this attitude of looking you in the eye and telling you stuff in your face, you know, or maybe he does a write-up and they tell you stuff, you know, he tells it the way it is. So when he started warning or talking about or saying stuff about these people, he was shut out, and you know, it was like, you're jealous, you're not the kind of person that people should be listening to, you have bad blood, you know, stuff like that. But it appears he wasn't lying. It appears he wasn't lying. The Epstein file is a can of worms that has really exposed people. So I want to believe that don't they say there is no smoke without fire? And if fire is burning somewhere, or smoke is oozing somewhere, it means there's a fire burning somewhere. So the Epstein file is beginning to open things and then open people's truth that we didn't know. Bill Gates, the Gates, when they were separating, when they were having their divorce, I was really wondering why an old couple would separate at that age. I was wondering why the wife would separate from the husband, and what would she be doing at old age? You know, what is she actually looking for? She's not the kind of public person that, you know, wants to be in the public eye all the time. She's a reserved type. So why would she be divorcing her aged husband? And then what lead to deal? We know now. We all know why, right? We all know why she could not take it. So based on the revelations from the Epstein's file, Jay-Z's name has been mentioned. So now we're going to be finding out. You know, I take it my responsibility to go about and dig out information. Social media is exploding with speculations about private chats between Jay-Z and Diddy. 50 Cent had been warning about Diddy for over a year, for over a decade, sorry. And he had proof. That's what he said. Jay-Z's silence is deafening. He doesn't participate in anything. He doesn't say anything. Isn't that questionable? When everyone around you is getting exposed and you say nothing. Now, I hope we all see the relation that Jay-Z, or the participation that Jay-Z has in all of this. These are his friends. They are being exposed. They are being called out. They are being mentioned in places. But he is still silent. Does it mean he wasn't a part of the freak-up? He was. Let me not give you unverified information. Let me just give you what I have gotten. Jay-Z's silence is deafening. When everyone around you is getting exposed and you say nothing, this is just entertainment. This is about accountability in the music industry. So now that's where we were driving to. It doesn't suffice that you are in the music industry and then you don't belong somewhere or you don't belong to something. So based on the fact that they all belong to a particular group, they should always be aware of that which is going on. I am talking in the case where if Diddy is being called to testify in the murder case of Tupac, there's no way Jay-Z is not aware. So now you understand why I asked the question, who is next? Jay-Z. So if eventually Kevin D's lawyer manages to bring in Diddy to testify, I guess Jay-Z too will be called up to testify. That's it. That's how it's going to look. Like I told you, it is unfolding this week. It's a developing story. So I just needed to bring this out to let you know. This is just entertainment. This is about accountability in the music industry. Proverbs 28:13. Power and influence can't cover it up all the time. There is a limit to the power and influence of fame that you think you have. That is why we find powerful and important people who went against the law behind the bars. In worst cases, 6 feet. So your power and your fame should not make you do stuff that will make you liable. That's just it. In the music industry, I know they belong to gangs. And Diddy and Jay-Z are in the same gang. They're in the same clique. So how on earth is Diddy going to be called up for something as dire as that and his body? Jay-Z is not aware. Question. Right? Like I said, Proverbs 28:13, power and influence can't cover up the truth forever. The truth must surely emerge. You can hide it, but not all the time. You cannot hide it again. You can hide it, but not all the time. Now they're about to be exposed. What is it going to be? How is it going to look like? It's going to be shameful, embarrassing. Whoever hides their sin does not prosper. They know. And whoever confesses them finds mercy. Do I need to emphasize on those words? They are as clear as crystal. I don't need to emphasize. So for those who thought that they had done something to Tupac and so many years have passed, it is now time for them to come and answer. They were powerful, rich, influential. They ran away from justice, but justice is definitely cutting up with them. Yes. So now, if you think that Diddy is going to testify, let me know. If you think that this case is going to degenerate to the level where Jay-Z is going to be called in, still let me know. I need you to put your comments at the comment section because it is a developing story. Whatever questions you have, drop it there so that I can do an investigation. So I'll come back and then let's talk about it. And I had earlier mentioned that the 4 years that Diddy was given, we all know he is guilty. I don't think it is sufficient. What do you think? Is the 4 years good? It's good enough? Because if it was good enough, he should have had remorse and not involved in drug use in jail. Is it still justice that the victims of Diddy are getting? Because that has increased his time in jail. Now guys, I want to believe that we have exhausted the write-up that I had to let you all in. It's a developing story. It's not much, but in the days ahead, I imagine that there's going to be a lot of things because the case is going to I mean, Kefidi's case, it is going to take it is going to take place, and there's a possibility of Diddy to be called in. Now, just as I always tell you on contemporary views, we take lessons home. Sometimes in life, there are things you do, and you feel that no one has seen you. You don't know how much time you're going to spend with that thought in mind that no one saw you. But someday, sometime, you're going to be accountable for them, for those things that you did. Crime is nothing to write home about. Understand that at some point in time, somebody can be pushed into crime by mistake. But there is this level you attain in life just because you feel that you have become untouchable, you have become so powerful, you feel that you can inflict pain or danger on other people. That is not right. I want to believe so. That is not right. The life you live is only one. So contributing or taking another person's own is not a good thing. And if people are involved in unaliving someone, I want to believe that justice should hold up with them and then condemn them in the highest way possible. Simply because life lost can't be gotten back just like that. Imagine the family of Tupac, what they have been through in his absence. He passed away in his prime. He was only 25 years old when he passed. Only 25 years. Now, you could do many things in life, bad things, and you get away with it. But you just maybe listen to a conversation you were not supposed to hear, and that fact that you listen will bring you down. I don't know if I'm making sense here. So for the fact that someone who is already incarcerated is seen as a possible witness in a murder case, it's dangerous. He did stuff in the past. He covered these things with his means. Now, things are beginning to open up for him. How is he going to escape? It is only when a man's freedom is taken, that's when the man begins to understand that freedom is priceless. I want to believe that if Diddy was a free man right now, he would be able to fight his way through, not to even be called up or even get involved in this case, because that has been the case since 1996 that Tupac passed. he had not been mentioned or seen as a possible witness in the case. It took 30 years. Now, I also understand that the victims of the freak-up-related crimes too cried out for justice, which to a larger extent was not well granted. And he felt that since he has the means, he can keep away from all the crimes and all the things he did. So that gave him the moral to continue, doing stuff. But look at where he is now, in jail, with all the money, with all the influence and power that he has, the fame, everything, behind bars. I understand that the system over there in the US is different from the system here, but then the law is the law. In some places it favors the rich, but it gets to a point where you mess up so badly that even if you have the means to buy freedom, you won't be able to do so. And I believe that it is exactly the case of Diddy, because even if they wanted him to pay for his freedom, he has the money to do so, but unfortunately he got caught up by the law and he's facing the consequences of his actions. Now that brings us to a point. If you can't be responsible for the things you do and then accept the consequences of your actions, then you're not serious, you're crazy. It doesn't mean that because you have the means or you are in the position to do stuff, you just get to do stuff, especially things that make you break the law. Just like I said, the days ahead are pregnant. This is an ongoing story. It is still going to open up. Today I spent a lot of time after I got this information. I started watching excerpts from Epstein's file. Ever since the releases of the file systematically, I have not been able to report on it, because the kinds of informations that are there, my God, they are deplorable. I know that I am going to do a video on that, definitely, but I am still struggling to make up my mind, because it is not easy. What surprises me the most is almost all the people mentioned in that file are all working freely. I don't understand. Most of these people, you see them as your role models. They are all mentioned in that file. So then I began to wonder, what is going on? Minors abused in the most deplorable ways, the most inhuman ways. By who exactly? People who are supposed to be their protectors, their fathers. My God. Powerful, respectable people. All the wealthiest people you would imagine have been mentioned in the Epstein files. 3.5 million pages. The revelations are still coming on. I was shocked. When I sit down, I look at them, I begin to wonder the kind of things they do. All that, what for? Why would they have to do stuff like that? Even if you want to be so bad, so demonic, do you have to keep records. You have to record them. My goodness. That made me feel there is no moral standing with the upper class. Yes, because almost all of them, world leaders, billionaires, well-respected people, all participated. Presidents, ministers, political envoys. My goodness. Anyway, I am still finding the stamina to be able to report on that. I have lots of files that I got online that I can attach. That one is going to be a sit down video because I don't think that I can come live with that kind of. At press time as we speak, I think Bill and Hillary are giving their own word on the case. Imagine former presidents, ambassadors. And the amazing part is, I don't know why African leaders not a part of the Epstein files. I'm still looking. What is going on? Well, we live in the challenging world, a very, very challenging one. Yeah. And I know that we can all be each other's keeper. Whenever I close my eyes and I listen to Heal the World, I remember Michael Jackson. He was framed. He was called a pedophile. He was actually saving the children. Sometimes you only get to understand the words of someone when they are long gone. And I'm going to say it here again. The truth will always prevail. No matter how long it takes, it will always come to light. And now we all can see clearly that Michael did not hurt children. He protected them. He did. The real predators are out there. And it took so many years for us to know who the real predators are. When the Prince of UK was mentioned, I could not imagine. Royal family. I saw a photograph of him in action. Now, how do you even explain to your family? What do you have to say? That you dehumanize kids. All that. What for? Just like I said, I need to develop the stamina to do that video. It's not easy. There are a lot of inhuman things in that file. But I hope someday the victims will get justice. in as much as the oppressors are men of timber and caliber, powerful people, I hope that justice is going to be delivered, just like how it was delivered in the case of Diddy, and it is going to be delivered in the case of Tupac. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are about this. Do you think that Jay-Z is not aware of P. Diddy's dealings, considering the fact that they are in the same clique? How is it even possible that Jay-Z's hands are clean when all his friends are being exposed? How is it possible that he is not involved? And now, do you think Keffi D's lawyer is going to be able to convince Diddy to come in to testify? And what is going to be the outcome? Drop your comments at the comment section. If this is the kind of content you like, share, and subscribe. I also need you all to support me with stars, superstars, and thanks. So, until next time, see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching live. Remember, the truth can be hidden, but not for so long. Even if it takes decades, it is going to come out. So be mindful of the things you do. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's what I'm going to be using to end this life. Thank you so much, and see you on the next one. Bye.